All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Meet the Maker interview series for the Bristol and Bloom Appalachian Regional Art Festival that's coming up on Saturday, August 8th of this year. My name's Marcy, for those of you I don't know, and I am chatting with Kristen. Kristen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So why don't you just introduce yourself to everybody for those who don't know you. Just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and the work that you're making.
Okay, so my name is Kristen Olinger. I am originally from Marion, Virginia. I currently live in Piney Flats now. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I do work full-time currently as an administrative assistant, and then I'm working on building my art career as well.
Yeah, that's actually really cool because I love all the things that you're doing. You're doing a bunch of different things. You've got a bunch of different things available for people. So I'm just going to share my screen so everyone can kind of get a look at some of the stuff that's available and that you're offering. So here I've got your Instagram pulled up, and I love these landscape paintings that you've been doing. Those are
Thank
some
you.
of my favorites. Yeah, you're welcome.
Those are my favorite to do as well.
Really cool.
I feel like I do very well on those. A lot of people like those. And I feel like that's always my go-to whenever I'm lacking inspiration. I can always go back to those landscapes. And again, they're just one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about like what materials are you using and what is your main source of inspiration for your work?
So I mainly do acrylics on canvas, and then I will do watercolors as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to incorporate with the watercolors pen and ink, which you can kind of see there a little bit with those floral pieces. As far as inspiration, it changes day to day. Sometimes I'll switch back and forth between the acrylics and the watercolors just to give my brain a break from one or the other, and kind of just do something new and keep it fresh. I tend to work off of emotions sometimes. So if I'm happy or feeling joy, a lot of that I think shows in my work. I do like to use a lot of the bright colors.
Mm-hmm.
I always find that I kind of gravitate towards those bright kind of jewel tone colors a lot in my work as well.
Yeah. Well, I love, here's some more of the landscapes that I really enjoy. I love this green especially, but that's one thing that's always drawn me to your work also is the bright colors that you use. And I love that you described like going back and forth between the acrylic and the watercolor when you need a break from one or the other. And I think, especially with those two mediums, that's a really nice balance. And they sort of lend to each other well. Like acrylic can be a lot like watercolor when you want it to be. But then it can also be more like oil when you want it to be, in the sense of like being more dense.
Definitely.
Yeah. But otherwise, so I love these little, almost like little neighborhoods that you're creating here too. Those are cute.
Yeah, that was some of my quarantine art.
So I love that. I've been loving seeing everything that people are making in quarantine. It's been so much fun. And the flowers that you've been doing lately, I've really loved those as well.
Yeah.
Those have
Yeah,
been
those are
really
fun to do as well. I'm drawn towards the landscapes and I think florals as well. With the acrylics, I really like doing those. You can get those bright pops of colors in there.
Yeah. So you've got original paintings available. I love these. So on your Instagram here, this is pretty much like a look at all the work that you've been doing. But if anybody wants to actually purchase work, they can click your link tree, which I've got it pulled up here. And here, the first link, it says available artworks for purchase. So that's where people can actually see what artwork is available at this time. So can I go ahead and just like purchase things through your website here?
Currently right now, it's still a work in progress and it's not set up for e-commerce.
Okay.
If you click into the tiles there, on one, just click on one of the paintings there, you can see the title, the dimensions, and the price.
Yes.
So from that point, if someone wants to purchase, they can just contact me directly.
Sure.
through Instagram, Facebook, or on my website, there is a contact field. They can just fill
Yeah.
that out and contact me through email.
Okay. Gotcha. And then, so you've got your available works, and these are original paintings, right? They're not prints.
Correct. I do, at this time, I do not offer any prints. Everything I do is original pieces.
Yes. And then in addition to that, you've also got your ornament studio. So on your link tree, you've got the ornament studio, which I've already got pulled up here, where people can come, and it's your Etsy shop for your ornaments, which this is something else that I think is just really fun and really a sweet idea for holiday gifts, especially.
Yeah, so I really started getting back into Etsy last year before the holidays with these ornaments, just to kind of test it out and see how that would do. So, and I did fairly well. This year I'm going to start, earlier and get more inventory up. But I started with the ornaments, and then I started to also list a few just smaller pieces of artwork that I think just make great gifts for people.
Sure.
And then I've even got, a couple pieces of jewelry on there where I've, worked with wood burning and painting those earrings. So these are all just, I think, really good small gift ideas for people.
Yeah, and what I like, this one's really pretty. I'm just going to pull that up. I love that. What I think is great, for example, our family went to Dahlonega, Georgia, like in 2017 or 2017 for Christmas. And there was an artist in this gallery that was just sitting there painting these little wood ornaments similar to what you're doing. And, I bought several that day. Just, they were so cute. And it is just a really great way to get like a unique, one of kind special ornament just to commemorate, the year. So I love that you're offering those. And it's really great that you are offering such a diverse, so many different products. So you've got the ornaments, you've got the original paintings, you've also got the jewelry that you've been experimenting with. What are there any other things that you're hoping to experiment or incorporate in the future?
I would always love to experiment with more mediums down the road. I have yet to really dive into oils and just different types of mediums. I find that I'm still kind of honing in and working on practicing, my watercolors and my acrylics right now. I consider myself right now a part-time artist, so it's kind of hard to find the time that I really want to put into it.
Sure.
But I jump back and forth between so many things because I don't want to get bored with one, and I'm always excited to try new things. So sometimes I feel like I may have a little too much going on.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to rein it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But right now I feel like I do have a good mix and a good handle on, the variety that I offer currently.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as far as the things that you're offering right now, what would be your favorite thing that you enjoy working on?
It goes back to, I guess, my watercolors. I do a lot of miniature pieces, even just like little 2 and 3 inch cards, and then a lot of 5x7 pieces that I'll list online. And, those are so easy to mail out to people, and they get, an original piece. And so I always enjoy doing those. This past year, I've really enjoyed doing my acrylic abstract cityscapes. So I'm kind of working on that more. I actually had a show it was going to be in April, but it was canceled due to the COVID situation. So, and that's where I was really going to focus on the cityscapes. Yeah, like that one. So hopefully it'll be rescheduled for next year.
Yeah,
But yeah, this year I'm definitely liking the way those are turning out, and I want to continue working in that area.
Yeah, I think the abstract cityscapes were what I initially was what I was most drawn to whenever I saw your application for the Bristol and Bloom event. I just really loved those. I thought they were really different and really cool. This is really pretty, this flower. And so so are you hoping to make art into your full-time job at some point, or full-time?
At some point, yes, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
It's been a long process for me, just to get to the point to where I'm at now, because I really didn't focus on it as much in the past, just with working full time and being a parent. You kind of just don't have time to fit it in. So the past couple years, I've really focused on just getting myself out there more, trying to get more shows, and just being in a public space to where, my confidence is building, and I'm getting, just one-on-one time with people who like and enjoy my art.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important part of it, is just getting that exposure, like you said, and putting yourself out there. Because really that's like the hardest part, is especially when you're starting out, is just like that first sharing it. Because that can be so scary. I mean, even after you've been doing it for a long time, it can still be a really scary thing. So I think it's really awesome that you are like taking those steps to put yourself out there more, and you've already got such a diverse product line, I guess you could say, as far as things that you're offering. So I think you're in a really great spot, and that's really awesome. So with you, are you mostly self-taught, or how did you get started making art? And then what did that journey look like?
Yeah, actually, I've always been into art, since I was younger. After high school, I did go to college, and I took several fine arts courses, and I was going to go into graphic design. And I decided not to do that. So then I stopped making art for several years. And I really didn't get back into it until, I would say, probably 5 years ago, is when I really thought, it's time for me to really fully get back into it, and see where it goes. So from there, I've just been building up, each year, trying to get better, and then, book a show, or, work on a website, or do, these little steps to just get where I eventually want to be in my career.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I love that. Good for you. And I'm really excited for you, and to see like how it continues to progress and how you continue to progress, because that's really great.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm going to share my screen again, and this was the cityscape that was my favorite.
Yes.
I think it was the one that I even shared on the Bristol and Bloom Instagram and social media pages.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites too. And that one, actually, I put that one in a show at the Arts Depot in Abingdon, and was lucky enough to have sold that one at the end of last year, before everything started going crazy with COVID. So someone does have that one in their home now, so I'm very happy that one sold. It is one that I'm a little emotionally attached to, though. Some of my pieces I do get attached to, so it's almost a bittersweet feeling when you have to let it go.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I was talking with somebody else, and I was saying with a lot of my paintings, it'll be like they'll leave, and I'll be sad, and I'll still be thinking about them. Like, I hope they're doing well. I hope they like their house and their home.
And you'll go back and look at your pictures of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Cool. So let's see. We've got your link tree. This is where people can see the available artworks for purchase, which we pulled up, your ornament studio, your website here. So, and your website is kind of the place where everybody can get connected to everything as well. So we've got news here. So
yeah, I try to have everything linked back in to each other, so everything's not just sporadically out there all over the place.
Yes. And and this is from your show at Blackbird. So cool.
Yeah, that was last year. That did really well.
Yeah, and it looks like you filled that space up really well.
Yeah, that was very exciting. Before that, I had one other small show, but that was the Blackbird show was the first one where, it was such a big. I had so many pieces on display. It was such a big space for me. To be up in the public area. So that went very well.
Can you talk a little bit about just what all it takes to put together a show like this, like put together work for a show like this?
For me, and I'm still learning, it was just to make sure that you have enough pieces. You have to um, take time to make sure all the pieces are ready for hanging. You have to have your inventory list. You have to price each piece, title it if you want, sizes, dimensions, all of that has to be, laid out. And then, when you go to hang it, I think we were there maybe 2 to 3 hours, just making sure everything was right. And, this piece has to be beside this piece and however you want to put it, So it's very stressful and nerve wracking the first time you do it. But I think it was a good success for me.
Yeah. I think it's nerve wracking every time you do it, no matter how many times, but I totally get what you're saying about like this piece having to go next to this one and so on. Like when I've hung at Blackbird for the shows that I've done there, it's so funny because my husband will come with me usually just to help sort of speed up the process. And for him, it's just like, I'm sure it's got to be like make no sense and be so frustrating because I'm just like, oh, this one needs to be like a little bit lower and
and
like
switch lights out. And
yeah. And then once we get it situated, it's like, I think I want to put it over on this wall instead.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's always good to have a helper.
Yes.
your paintings around.
Yeah. So otherwise, I guess now, are there any, I know right now, like a lot of events are canceled and shows are canceled and so on. And there's a lot of uncertainty for a lot of people, but do you have anything that you're working towards right now or working for or preparing for?
Things are on hold right now as far as shows. I usually participate in the Fun Fest art competition and do a couple little things like that, but everything's been just rescheduled or canceled for this year that I know of. So right now I'm just working on just getting my inventory ready for the festival. And then probably I'll start just working on Christmas inventory.
Yeah.
And then looking forward to next year, I will have a show in January at the Arts Depot.
Cool. That's exciting.
And then I will have another show, I believe, in April at Blackbird next year.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool.
That's
Well, I'll
all
definitely
on the agenda right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely be looking for your work at Blackbird and at the Arts Depot next year. That's exciting.
Yes. Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Kristen, for joining me and for sharing your time and for sharing your journey and for sharing your work. I love it. And I'm really excited to see where you continue to grow throughout your process.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.